What is going on, guys? Alex Eubank here, coming at you with another YouTube video. This is my podcast. I've done one before. I did it with Hattie. If you haven't seen that, it's called the Chasing Aesthetics Podcast. I'm going to be not uploading it to Spotify yet because I'm not doing that many for the moment until maybe like we get our crib in Austin. But for now, I'm uploading it to YouTube. So I love talking to you guys, keeping it real, going over topics. You guys can get to know more of me and all that stuff. So today, I'm here with
Vaughn Walker. If you don't already follow me, he's gonna tag all my stuff in the description of the video, so go check that out. Yeah. But let's get to it.
All right. So basically, the way I go about this, we're just gonna start shooting it just like as if we were talking to each other, just like normal human beings. You guys can get into it. I put up a poll on my story or like a questionnaire, seeing kind of overall topics that you guys want us to kind of go over and talk about. So we're just gonna start with like one of the most popular ones, which is the whole concept of. We'll talk about like the fitness industry, being a fitness influencer, being natty or being not natty in the fitness industry, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So if you guys you've been in the fitness industry the least amount of time.
Yeah. I think I just started like this past August, so I think I'm about 4 or so months deep. And you're what, like a year and a half ish?
Yeah, I was like playing around with it. 2020 January. I remember I started like messing around with like little vlogs here and there. But like, I remember I dropped out of college July 2020, and that's when I was like I think I had 2,000 followers on Instagram, full center, and we're about to hit 200K. So
did you drop out of college just like primarily to do this kind of stuff, or was it like?
It was a mix of me hating school. And I remember I opened up a project. It was like a final. It wasn't a final, but it was like one of like the biggest projects for the one class. It was like a business stats class, and I remember I opened it. I looked at it. I was just like, to myself, I was like, "Is he trying to?"
I have no idea.
Yo, I was
Might
like,
be Kita.
No, it was like basically I opened up the project and I was like, I'm not doing this. I remember I just clicked out of it. I didn't even withdraw my classes. I literally just I didn't even tell my parents at first or nothing.
So you pretty much dropped out of college, kind of due to laziness over one project.
Yeah, but like I also started doing the fitness stuff. So like I was only had like 2,000 followers on Instagram. So like I really wasn't popping yet. I really wasn't, but I like wanted to do it, and I wanted to like do it so bad and full send it, so I kind of just did it, and then I full sent it. I was uploading twice a week on YouTube, like almost every day on like TikTok and stuff. Bro, okay, I'm sorry we keep looking over here. There's 2 doors here, and they keep opening up. Bro, are you here? Bro, there's a ghost straight up. There's no way.
Do you think that you could do like this kind of stuff before you actually like started doing it?
I mean, the fitness industry, like the industry wasn't that saturated yet. It's so saturated now. Everybody's trying to be an influencer now. This is when TikTok first started popping off. So I saw I remember Riser Fit I followed, and he was like one of my OG boys, and like he was like popping off. So I was like, yo, like I posted a few TikToks, and they were kind of like gaining followers decently quick. So I was like, I saw it as like an opportunity. So I didn't know it was gonna get this big. That's for sure. Like I did not know it was gonna go this far. Like, especially in the amount of time. Not at all. But no, it's lit. And again, like I don't know about your DMs. Like my most requested DM is like, yo, how do I start? How do I get sponsored? How do I?
Bro, that's every like. How do I get a supplement sponsor? How do I get a clothing sponsor? How do I just like rely on the fitness aspect to pay for everything in my life? And it's like. Like it's really hard to like tell somebody that, and it's like
I want to make it like a whole separate video explaining like how to do it. Not like it's not for everybody. Again, the physique is only half the battle. The other half is like personality, relating to followers, posting consistent content on all platforms. A lot of people give up because at first it's very slow. I remember I was getting like 1 sub every day or every other day on YouTube, like only 1 subscriber for months. It was like that.
Really,
and I was still uploading twice a week, even though I wasn't really getting much from it. So it's just being consistent, trusting in yourself. I trusted in God, and I would pray about it all the time. But yeah, another question I want to talk about was like the whole like aspect of making money, and like how you make money as a fitness influencer, right?
Yeah. So like the main thing is like, obviously starting out, you're not gonna be getting paid like a base salary from a company or anything like that, and you kind of like. At least for me, it was like I kind of like had to like sell stuff first to like kind of like make a name for myself in the company in a way to like kind of grab their attention. But was it like same way with you or like?
So for me, I remember when I first got with like Raw Gear, for example, which was a year ago. The way people got paid was heavily. This is like the marketing strategy for all companies right now. That's why Young LA and Raw Gear was signed. People who like rarely even sell, or just small athletes, like with only a few thousand followers. Because if you give somebody a free product and you tell them to promote it and that you're an athlete, that person's gonna be so psyched to promote your stuff because you're getting something for free, and you're basically doing free advertising for them. They're losing a few, maybe like $50 on the free gear they're giving you, and off of that, if you even give them 1 or 2 sales, they're making their money back on you. That's like.
I didn't think about it that way, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid scheme. Like a lot of the stuff is like a pyramid scheme. That's just kind of how they get free marketing, advertising from signing more and more people. But I remember people who had more followers than me would get paid higher like salaries. Salaries basically meaning you get paid a certain amount a month, and then which is guaranteed, and then you get your commission on top of all that. You can only really do that once you start working your way up in the industry, or if you're already known and you have a lot of followers and they have an idea that they think that you can sell, or you show them your analytics. So like at first, I know for you too, like it was just like commission at first, so you got to sell.
Yeah, so you have to sell, but like, at least from like what I'm seeing, like even like the big influencers, they get a salary, but the majority of their money definitely comes from commission. Yeah.
Unless you're like, man, like I know some people who are like already really known in the industry, who've been in it for a minute. They'll like promo deals where they get like thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. But again, yeah, if you want to get more of like the salary, commission structure, stuff like that, negotiations, all how it works, you just kind of work your way up. Again, like that's why we have to plug our like codes in so much.
A lot.
Especially I felt bad on Black Friday. I felt bad doing
Black
it so
Friday
much.
was owed, like everybody was like owed.
Plug-in, it was just plugs and plugs. But like you have to, because again, like I'm not ever going back to a 9 to 5. I need to make money doing this. So that's why it's crucial to like promote these things. And like then we have contracts and stuff like that where you sign with the company for this long. There's requirements. You need to post this many times. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets stressful sometimes too.
You ever like forget to post stuff? Yeah.
I don't mean to. Like I have like shout out like to you guys. I have a really good and loyal audience. So even though I don't have the biggest following in the industry, I pull my weight really well with the companies that I'm with because I have a good loyal following. So shout out you guys for that.
Shout out the following.
Yeah, I followed like 500 accounts on Instagram from Black Friday because every time I see somebody use my code, I follow them back.
Follow?
Yeah. But like the range of how much money you can make is ridiculous. You can either make no money,
or you could be buying Lamborghinis.
Buying a Lamborghini. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's like, or an Audi R8, like like you can. That's how crazy
wild.
it is,
bro. That's about to be you though with the Z06.
The Z06. Yeah, I want to get a Z06.
Damn.
Hopefully, I have a connect to get a Z06 because I want that car so bad. But yeah, like the potential is amazing.
It's insane.
But I feel like the longer you're in the industry and the more you're able to like negotiate and work, I have like a manager and stuff like that. It helps, like doing brand deals. You're able to make a living from it and not have to like go back to school. Like I'm not going back. Yeah. You know, that's
not an option at this point.
Yeah, this is it, or it's GG's for Alex Eubank. I'm not doing it. I'm not going back.
Bro, yeah. See, like I graduated, and then like I was like, I'm not trying to get like a 9 to 5. So like,
yeah. So you wasted your degree, pretty much.
I mean, like, not that I ever want to fall back on it, but it's there if I have to.
Yeah.
So like,
but still, like, this is the way I look at life. Again, this can translate into the whole school system being messed up. Is I was a good student in school. I had a 4.2 like weighted GPA, cumulative. I was like top 20% of my class. Got accepted to schools I applied to. I was like smart, like 1300 SAT score. I only took it once, didn't even study
like
for it.
Smart.
I was pretty good.
What?
I was pretty good. And like, oh man, but like I hated school. I was like, this is like, what am I learning? Why do they require you to learn like chemistry, biology as like you have to take those classes and pass them in order to get your graduation certificate?
Yeah.
But like, why don't they require you to take like classes on like marketing or like
finances?
Finances. How do you finance a house? How do you get a credit card? Like, why don't they teach you stuff that is crucial?
Bro, I know that I graduated high school and at that point I still didn't even know how to write a check. Like,
yeah. And this is like, again, like I read a book. I highly recommend you guys reading it if you have time. I hate reading, but it's written by Napoleon Hill. There's 2 of them, Think and Grow Rich. and Outwitting the Devil. Okay, read both of those books, and I guarantee you your mindset will change.
If you don't want to read it, get an audiobook.
That's what I did.
Key.
The audiobook. But yeah, I think it was like free on YouTube because it was written in the 1940s. And it's crazy is the way he talked about some of the school structure then is the same thing now. And it's like, in a way, they almost prepare you to work a 9 to 5. They put you in a setting where like you have to obey to authority. You're tested, and if you don't test, you fail. You get hurt for it almost. It's just the wrong way to go about teaching society, and I feel like that's why. I think it sets up people for failure. So basically, I don't know. I'd rather do a career in a field where even if I wasn't making as much money, if I was happier and I didn't feel like I was under somebody else's authority and schedule, I'd rather live that lifestyle than make more money at a 9 to 5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally agree with that.
There's just no way. Like, I don't get how people do it. Like, I don't like. Oh man, if you're going to college for business, you might as well like. I'm sorry if there's parents listening to this. You might as well drop out. Put that money.
Wait, hold on. What did you go for? Did you go for business?
Yes. And I'm like, shit. What am I doing this for? Like, if you spent 4 years under a mentor, if you went to a mentorship program under an actual business owner for 4 years, worked with him closely for free. Right? So you're not even paying anything to learn from him.
He's going to teach you everything that you're going to have to know.
Yeah, the greatest teacher in life is experience. Every single time, experience. The classroom will teach you how to kind of they just teach. They don't even you don't learn through experiences in a classroom. They kind of, you're learning from a professor who never even ran their own successful business, and they're trying to teach you how to run a business. Learn from somebody who actually is doing what you want to do. If you spend 4 years doing that, I guarantee you'd be so much better off than paying $50,000 a year at a 4-year institution under business classes learning, and then you get out into the real world, try to do it yourself, and then you have to go through the whole experience process when you already could have done it when you were younger.
And on top of that, you're gonna have upwards of $200,000 in debt.
In debt. So good luck starting a business when you're $200,000 in debt. You know what I mean?
That's just another life stressor that's gonna make everything harder. Because bro, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, dude. I don't you know. And again, it's just society is so just corrupt and messed up that they're gonna tell you you need to go to school, you need to get good grades, you need to study your ass off. First off, suicide rates and anxiety and depression rates have skyrocketed in teenagers because of them being so pressured to have to get into these schools and do good because they think that they need that to get a good job. It's not the truth. It's not true.
Even in college and stuff, it's so you get so pressured to do well on exams and everything like this. So you don't have to pay for that course again. So at my college, I know that my graduating year, the suicide rates were crazy, and it's just scary to think about that.
Yeah, bro. I remember I used to tweak over studying for courses because I would need to pass I need to get a certain grade to pass that class, and I would literally freak out, and it's so unhealthy for you. And again, I feel a society that makes you. If there's a class where they allowed you to take the test, you saw the mistakes you made, and you were allowed to retake it and fix the mistakes you made, and then not be penalized for the first mistakes you made, that's a good type of classroom because you're still learning. But the fact that they penalize you for maybe not memorizing a certain thing, it's all memory based. The fact that they penalize you and then you can't have the time to learn from that experience, try to fix it again, is messed up. That's
the biggest. I think what's most screwed up is that it's a financial penalty too. It's
you have to
not
take
just a slap on the wrist, but you have to buy the whole course again. Yeah.
Stupid, bro. It's all money grab. All this stuff is always a money grab. It really is. And people who don't understand that, it's dumb. I remember when I was dropping out, my mom and my dad didn't really support it at first, and then once I started making my own money, we live in a day and age with social media. Making money in is some of the easiest things to do. I've seen some 18-year-olds who are literally millionaires from stuff like crypto and NFTs.
Insane.
There's so many different ways to go about it. You just have to be smart, ask questions, try to learn, find your niche and stuff like that. My thing is finding my purpose and my passion and making it a way for me to live off of it, and I feel that's what I've done doing this stuff. So yeah, that was a lot. I hate school.
Yeah.
I straight hate school, bro.
Bro, I was actually thinking of getting my my 7-year degree going for business, or not business school, law school.
Yeah.
But after I graduated college, there's no freaking way I'm going back.
Yeah. All right. So, regarding the fitness influencer stuff, pros and cons of hopping on gear. You want to go over it? Because it's we're the same view of it. I feel like.
Yeah. Definitely the pro side of it, especially when you're a fitness influencer or somebody that basically relies on your physique,
content,
pictures,
videos, all that.
You're gonna get paid a lot more, and people are gonna notice you a lot more when you look better. So that's like, at least in my eyes, that's like the biggest, most like attractive like thing with gear is like the money aspect of it.
You'll make more money.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, for example, I just got back from LA. I'm in LA and I'm like I'm there for 2 weeks. Like, I'm 3-4 days into it, training every day, trying to get content. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm gassed. Fourth day, I'm like, yo, I do not want to lift today. And all the guys there, all these guys who in the industry hopped on gear, who are on stuff, they're like
going and
they're
going
still
and
going. They're
You
getting
can't keep up
content at
with
the
it.
pumps. Like, they have pumps the whole workout. If I'm like working out 2 hours near the end, I'm like, yo, like, I'm not really pumped up anymore. I can't really get pictures right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just everything kind of sucks. And like, they can sleep 5-6 hours and feel like they've slept 10, and I have to sleep still like 8 to feel
that also
even.
puts you behind like with like recovery days too, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're taking a day off, they're like still making content. I mean, like, it's like, you definitely, for the people that want to go on the gear, or if you are taking gear, you definitely still want to take rest days.
It
because
just
your
makes
body
it
will
easy.
deteriorate over time.
It just makes it easier, and then I'm like pressured. I'm like, yo, like, and then in a sense I'm hurting my body because then I'm forcing it too much because I see all these guys. You have to keep up with them, and I can't because I'm natural.
That definitely messes with your head too.
Yeah, the only cons of why I haven't done it is because of my following. I'm afraid that they're not going to support me, or I'm going to lose some followers because a lot of people look up to me for being like one of the last naturals, or a lot of them believe me for being a natural, which is usually rare. Probably because I'm so vulnerable to everything, but people believe me. So I'm afraid of losing that, and then also I'm afraid of not being, if I had like a freak accident, wasn't able to have kids. And I hate the idea of being reliant on something. If I ever hopped on, I would do like a low dose test and just stay on it for my life. And I hate the fact of like having to be reliant. Like, yo, like, oh,
that's
I
a
want to go
scary like thing to think about.
Yeah, like, let's go overseas to Greece or whatever for 2 weeks. Yo, I gotta bring my test with me. How am I getting my test on the plane?
Yeah,
Like,
and if
I
it's
hate
not
that.
prescribed, like, you can't bring it with you. I don't think, right?
No.
Like, they're not gonna let you on the plane with that. So
that's
you're
like,
kind of beat.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm like, yo, like, I hate the idea of being dependent. Like, yo, like, I have to pin at this time, this day. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's scary to me. But
I think like you said, like, the biggest con for me is definitely like the whole health aspect. Cause like I definitely want to live like a long life, and I know like like certain gear, like, it's definitely gonna put you at a shorter lifespan, but that's a huge thing. Like, definitely if you're thinking about it, I know like the majority of your audience isn't gonna be pushing that direction, but if you do think about it, definitely do a lot of research before you start taking
yeah, and
stuff.
like, bro, if you're taking like
Don't be
SARMs,
stupid
like,
about it.
there's a bunch of kids, bro. They just take SARMs. Like, yo, you're dumb. Don't do that. Don't do it. People always try to find shortcuts, like, especially the young guys. Like, especially like if you're like 15 to like 18, don't even think about it, bro. Like,
No.
I'm 21, and that's still said to be like mad young, even like think about hopping on. So,
Do you know when your like natural test levels start to decline? Like,
they say
age-wise?
30. They say 30, but I think it's like mid 20s to late 20s. Like, you start really. Mine's already like ass. You guys know, like, mine's like 550 most recently, and like my coach says I should be up to like 800. So if you guys didn't see my last video, go watch it. But it's trying to boost my test up the next few months naturally through recovery, eating more, and stuff like that. And if I can't, then it opens the door more for me. Maybe I have to, not even for like the benefit. I wouldn't even want to hop on it for the benefits just of looking better. It would be the mental aspects of it, being able to be more productive and get more stuff done and feel like, be productive without feeling like I'm dead. Like, I hate when I go, like, as a natty, I go to the gym, especially when I'm leaner, go to the gym, get my workout, and I'm done the whole day. I'm like, don't even tell me to do nothing because I'm fried for the whole day. Versus when you're on test.
I know that when you're on test, like, you're always in like a better mood, and you're always like go 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 go.
Yeah.
So like
my hairstylist just hopped on TRT, so he's only on like 100, you know, and he told me like before he had the same issue, like, goes to the gym, you're fried, you're done for the whole day, don't ask me to do anything. Now that he's been on, he's like, yo, I'll wake up in the morning early, go to the gym for an hour and a half, come straight to work, go out later at night, and like his
I feel
energy the whole
fine,
day.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, bro, what? And he's freaking 45 years old, whatever. I
That's
don't know.
insane.
I'm 21. I can't do that. Like, that's how I know, like, maybe I do need to eventually. So hopefully people still support me. If I do, I don't know for a fact if I'm going to yet. I'm open to it. I'm just gonna pray about it. So I don't know.
Oh, how
Faith
how
with
is
it?
the whole faith aspect with that?
I don't know. It says like your body's a temple, but again, like, sometimes having low tests is unhealthy, and hopping on can, if you don't hop on a bunch, like a little, like just put you at the top of the reference range, is a healthier thing to do.
Okay.
So like I don't know.
Is that something like God would be like okay with, or like
I don't
like,
know.
At least like for like health aspects.
Sin wise, like I don't think it's a sin. I think it's all about where your heart lies. I think it's when you become abusive with it. So I think abusing steroids is sinful.
Okay.
It's just because it's unhealthy. I think if you're going about it from a health aspect of like being more productive, feeling better, just like operating more efficiently as a human being, and like not hurting your systems or taking years off your life, I think it's not sinful. That's just how I would. My heart tells me that. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of view like the same thing.
Yeah. Bro, I used to want to be in the military so bad after high school.
Bro,
I used to be obsessed with like the Navy SEALs, bro. I would do like the most push-ups in the PE classes. I would like train for it because I wanted to be like the last guy doing the push-ups and like the last guy in the pacer test and stuff.
You were the. I mean, it's not bad to be the try-hard, but you were the try-hard.
Oh, I was try-hard, dude. And like
that's funny.
Now when I swear the way I think now is so much more. Again, this is if you read that Outwitting the Devil book, you'll see what I mean. Where you're a drifter at one point in life, and you don't think for yourself, and then once you kind of can mature, you have experiences where you grow, and you think individually. You learn to think for yourself. You learn to ask questions. You learn to question things and not just obey every little thing you hear. You become so much more open-minded.
Once you like find like who you actually are, and like you find yourself and like what you want to do and everything like that, like your own personal values. Your life's gonna be a whole lot better.
Yeah, dude. I feel so much more woke. I'm like, okay, I would never want to be a soldier now because I'm like, the government. Why? It's kind of messed up thinking like all these like old ass like no disrespect, but like all these old ass like generals and stuff are the ones like they're sending. Some people who never even set foot on like the front lines are the ones who are sending all these guys to go overseas to go like fight battles that they're not risking their lives for. And a lot of these battles are so stupid in the means of like. They literally have no like we don't need to be in them. You know what I mean? Like I just don't trust what the military or the government like is trying to do half the time. So why would I want to like put my life on the line just to be their pawn? You know what I mean? Like to be their pawn in that. Like that's so dumb. So I would never want to be in the military again. Like, I don't know why I was so obsessed with it.
I appreciate everybody who's like actually doing it though. Like
I
think
too.
It's freaking like awesome.
I do too. Like shout out to them. Like thank you for doing that. It's just like it's hard to think like what we're fighting for sometimes.
It's at least I feel like it's like for the wrong thing.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's so many times you can see in the history of the United States like us getting into stuff that like we really didn't need to, and there's a lot of reasons we do it that are like under the table that they don't show you. Yeah. But like you know what I mean? Yeah. Like a lot of it can be money.
Everything gets like covered
money,
up too,
oil,
so, like nobody ever finds out about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But they'll use a cover up as like a reason that we're getting into it, but it's really for other reasons. So you never know. Yeah. Again, that just comes from me like individual thinking, questioning things, you know. Don't just take everything as it is. Ask questions all the time.
Mm-hmm. Never stop asking questions.
Yeah, it's key. It's key. And don't be a sheep. Don't be just, you know what I mean. Getting into that. Let's talk about. I mean, we can talk a little bit about. I mean, I don't want to talk about politics too much because people's gonna get offended.
Oh yeah, politics get everybody heated. So like even like that little clip right there.
Yeah,
like,
it's probably gonna offend somebody. Again, like. Bro, like everybody's. That's why we live in the best country in the world. Is if we were entitled to our own opinions, and if you don't like my opinion, that's awesome because you're allowed to. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Like it shouldn't separate us. It should let us come together because we all live in the area where we're allowed to be like that. So like if you have the complete opposite mindset as me, that's awesome. Like good for you. Like we could have a conversation without it being like aggressive and talk about things and you know what I mean? Like that's how it should be. But it's like you find someone who doesn't have the same views as you. It's like you immediately hate them. It's like that's how it is now.
Yeah,
you're just like cancel them. Cancel culture.
Like,
we talk about
that's
that.
That's why like when I first meet people, like I know that like a lot of people go straight for like political views and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I like try to go for like their own like moral values and like try to learn like everything about them first and like kind of keep politics last.
That's true. Whenever I get a girl though,
girls different.
Like I want her to have the same political. I hope that's not petty. I think it's just like again to avoid like bad discourses with a person you're trying to get to know. I feel like it's good if you're on the same page.
Yeah,
I've noticed that in past relationships, if they're like not the same as me, I'm like we get in fights.
I've seen it too. Like
you know what I mean?
The arguments get real bad.
Yeah,
between like lovers. when it comes to like politics and stuff.
Yeah. So now I guess we can talk about some of the relationship and stuff now. So I mean, like, one of my most asked questions was what happened with me and Haley. If you guys didn't know, I'm single now. Like, I'm not gonna get into like too deep into it because I think she's still an awesome person. You know, I still have a lot of love for her. I was with her 10 months. You know what I mean? This is another thing. I hate when people go through like breakups sometimes. They immediately try to hate the person they were with to get over it, or they try to hurt them. And I'm like, that's not like true love. You know, at one point they were your like. There was someone you loved, and they were your favorite person in the entire world at one point. So you have to remember that. So I think you should always try to like treat them with respect even after you guys break up, regardless of what it is.
It's not gonna make you. I mean, it might make you feel better like the second that you like say something bad about them, but like
you'll regret
overall you're gonna regret it.
It's just not. You gotta be the better person. But
yeah.
Long story short, like again, I'm not gonna get a detail out of respect for her, but it's just like. I do a lot of fitness influencer stuff. Obviously, it's what I do for a living. I travel a lot. I have to collab with a lot of people, and it's just
girls.
Yeah, like it's just not it for everybody. Like sometimes, when I need to do something to grow my social media, like content, and some people just they aren't able to be okay with that, and it can cause arguments or cause issues. So,
or just like a general tension that's not healthy in relationships.
Yeah, so long story short is what it is, but since I've heard that she has found Jesus, so that's awesome. So
yeah, that's cool.
Love that.
You're good at pushing that on people. You kind of push that on me too.
Yeah. Dude, that's like, I swear, like, oh man, I think God puts me in people's lives sometimes just like to help bring them to him, because like, there's so many times where like I'll meet people for the first time, like David Lay, Brad, Lex Little, like every time I meet them, I end up talking to them about it all the time. I always ask like, what's your view on life, on like creation, just how we're here, what do you think happens when you die?
Do people get like, do they ever get like weirded out about that, or like?
Not really, because at first it's more of like a lot of people love talk, because this is what I believe that we all have inside believe in something. It's just finding out exactly what it is. So it's very, no matter who you bring up this topic to, is intriguing. No matter what, like who it is, even if it's not Christian based. If you try to ask about like where we're from, where we're going, it's
because every answer is gonna be different.
Yeah. So that's like what I started off with, and I kind of just like to see what people think. You can always tell somebody has a God complex when you ask them that question. Because a lot of people, they'd be like, oh, no, like, I don't believe. Like, I believe I can do whatever I want. You can kind of tell whether or not they're very, have an ego, and you know what I mean? Which is bad. You need to kill your ego, especially when you come to God. Yeah, if you guys don't know my testimony, I have the video, or I have my story on my pin on my YouTube, my pinned video. Suffered really bad with anxiety, depression, wanted to off myself, and...
Were you like that, like, your whole childhood growing up? Or was that, like...
I think it was from childhood trauma.
Okay.
I went through a difficult childhood.
So it just like built up and.
Yeah, and then like high school, middle school, it was a lot of childhood trauma, and then I think it all built up, and then with this being like not having a lot of friends and stuff, boiled over in like senior year and freshman year of college, senior year of high school, freshman year of college, lost 20 pounds, couldn't eat, had eating disorders. Bro, it was so bad. I literally felt like I was tweaking, having a panic attack 24/7.
You said your depression like carried into college. Was that like a reason that you dropped out, or no?
Definitely not. No, I dropped out when I was saved and everything. I got saved and then I started doing social media like full time. So, yeah, I remember I was at like the Christmas service at my church, and one of the messages my pastor brought up is he said it was like in Hebrew. It was like what they would sometimes call God. And it was like it was in Hebrew. I forgot how he said it in Hebrew. It was like basically what it meant in English was the God who brings back the outcasts. And I used to always see myself as like an outcast and just like not belonging, not being like everybody else at all, and I'd like get anxiety from it. So
I was the same way. Like I never fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
And like I was trying to like throughout high school, I know that I was trying to piece myself in like different groups, and like I never fit in, bro. Like,
yeah. Bro, like you were in the car with me. I got a call from like one of my like my homeboys from like growing up with, and you were like, yo, how do you? They're like they're not. I don't even know if they watch this, but like if you do, you guys are dope. I love you guys. Like, you guys are awful influences. You guys were. And I had to distance myself from them. Like they're just not good people. And I love them, but you know what I mean. It's just they took a different path, and I went this way. And it's just I'm glad I went this way because that's where it's led me here today. But again, like that led to my issues. Remember, I chose to get baptized. That's why my tattoo is January 5th of 2020. I got born again.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And my whole life genuinely changed. Like, I went from no more depression, no more panic attacks. I went from having fears of even traveling away from my home to flying to LA on a monthly basis, stuff like that. Like, I completely turned 180 around, and I just have so much more confidence, happiness, hope, joy in life. And because I found, this is why I'm so passionate about spreading it, is because that, if you would have seen me and known me 2.5 years ago and saw the things I had to deal with inside, and you saw where I'm at now and how I am now, you'd be like, yo, like, I want that. You'd be like, yeah. I want that. And that's why I try to tell you guys that's what it is. And it's so simple to get it because it's a free gift of God that he's given to all of us. And all you have to do is just accept it. Like, I was showing you that song last night, Reckless Love.
Yeah, bro, that, like, just watching that, like, I got a completely different outlook on life. That and the sermons, too. The sermons were insanely good.
Yeah, we were watching some sermon stuff last night, but, like, oh man, like, the Reckless Love was one of the favorite songs that got me into the whole faith thing. Worship music saved my life because it was a way for me to express what I wanted to say to God. I didn't know how to say it inside, but it was like the way that the songs would say it for me, and I would sing it and play guitar. But like the way it, like, Reckless Love is like, God loves you so much and he expects nothing in return. I posted this on my Instagram story just last night. And he loves you so much, and all he wants is just maybe the slight chance that maybe you'll turn back and give him that same love in return. He doesn't expect you to do it, but he still loves you so much that he just hopes that you would give that same love back to him. You know what I mean? He wants to offer you all these things, and he's not going to force it on you. The same way you can't force a woman to love you in a relationship, God's not going to force you to love him and be with him. So if you want to be away from him and live with the world and worldly things, he's going to let you do that because he loves you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like, I'm still not, like, 100% keen on, like, the whole Christianity and, like, worship and, like, faith and everything like that. I'm just starting to get into it. Yeah. But, yeah, for the most part, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, a lot of people ask me, like, how you get into it, which is,
that was a huge thing that I, like, didn't even know how to start. Like,
yeah, it's common.
Just getting into it was so freaking hard.
Yeah, so, like, the worship music helped me a lot. Like, again, we were going to, like, talk about, like, how you build muscle through eating, training, sleeping, resting, recovery. You train your spirit, all right, your spirit with God through reading the Bible, reading His Word, praying, spending time with Him, and, like, worshiping. You know, either through the form of I like watching or listening to sermons like Jeremy Foster, Stephen Furtick. Paul Washer is the most legitimate pastor you will ever hear. He will change your life. And then the worship songs. Like, I love it. I'll play them all the time just because, like, it just.
Oh, you're always bopping those in, like, the car too.
Yeah,
like, it's good music. Like,
it's not like some church choir. Like, it's actually, like, solid.
It's, like, really good.
It's, like, modern. It's, like, more modern, but, like, it's just the words and the lyrics. It hits you differently, and you feel something inside you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Like, there's so many times where I play my guitar and I'll just bawl crying. I'll cry. I'll just cry.
Just comes out.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. But yeah, but man, dude, I've gotten so many, like, DMs from kids telling me how I've, like, helped them find faith, and that stuff is crazy to me.
Yeah, bro, that probably feels so good, like, for you at least, because, like, I know, like, that's, like, you definitely see that as, like, your purpose in life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm, like, so, like, I'm not. I feel like that's what also, like, took away a lot of the depression. Is, like, before I felt like I didn't have a purpose in life, and now I, like, genuinely feel like I do. I remember the first time I took it in and noticed it. I remember I was in my kitchen, and I was, like, seeing all these DMs I was getting from kids. I remember I was putting them on my basement wall, and I was like, yo, like, I almost offed myself, like, a year and a half. Like, this is, like, a year ago, so, like, a year before, I was like, I really almost was about to end it all, and here I am. Went through it all, and here I am helping kids get through the exact same things that I was going through and finding a cure to it through Christ. It's crazy to think of it like that. I'm like, yo, like, that's so crazy to me. And that's why I'm so happy about, like, pushing it all the time. Again, like, another thing that this, like, issue with the whole influencer thing is, like, people fry me. I get called out by Christians all the time if I mess up. Like, remember?
Yeah.
Like, even last night.
Like, bro, everybody's, like, the littlest thing too. What was it, like? Just, like, the music?
Yeah, because I listen to NBA YoungBoy, and bro, the first, like, literally, I put on my story within 10 minutes. I got, like, 2 people in my DMs being like, yo, you're not a real Christian. Yeah. You're like, yo, like, God doesn't want you doing that, and I'm like, yo, that's why I had to make another story post after, be like, yo, hey, you all perfect Christians who don't sin, it's okay.
And there's definitely nobody like that, right? Like a perfect person doesn't exist.
No, the only perfect person who ever lived was Jesus Christ himself. Even if people think like, oh, snap of the finger, I become a Christian, I'm supposed to be perfect now. That's not how it is. You know what I mean? It's different. The only difference between like me and you, because you're not saved yet, you haven't been baptized, is that like I truly, genuinely, if I mess up, I feel awful inside, and I have to truly repent, and it's because I accepted the Spirit of God within me, and like I generally know, and I try to repent, meaning I repent by trying actively not to sin, to be like more like Jesus, even though I'll never be like him. It's trying to be more like him, and love the things he loves, hate the things that he hates, and it happens over time. It's growth. It happens. You get better and better with it. It's not that you like instantly.
Do you noticeably like see yourself getting better with it, like from like where you were?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Again, I still struggle with things. I still struggle with, like, I'll be honest, again, I'm so vulnerable with you guys because the reason I do this is because me being vulnerable with people on the internet, they'll feel better about their own issues they're going through because we'll see that somebody like me, maybe if they look up to me, I'm going through the same thing.
Yeah.
I struggle with lust a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I do. Like, I mean, like, I go to the gym, like, my test isn't that high, so it's not as bad as some people, but, like...
But we're still 21, 22-year-old kids, yeah, so, like...
You don't gotta hide it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's a real issue, and it's hard. I was just thinking, like, I one of the things that I know I've gotten better with God is I quit. I used to watch porn when I was younger, and I don't watch it anymore. I've quit for a hot minute now, over a year, 2 years, maybe. I don't watch it anymore, and like that was big. It was hard at first. That was a big jump for me. But I've had to deal with issues like that in relationships and struggling with my purity and stuff. Again, if I do, like, I want to find, like, because I'm single now, I obviously need to be single for a minute, but like the next girl I get with, I want to be equally yoked, and I want her to be faithful and to help us both. Remember that thing we were watching last night, the pyramid?
Jimmy Foster? Where you have to start with the spirituality,
you start spiritual, and then the physical affection and the intimacy is like up top of the pyramid. Meaning, if you start with the sexual aspect of things in a relationship, it's like building a pyramid and trying to put a pyramid on its tip. And then you end up getting like emotional after that. You start with this, like, the sexual stuff, then you're like, oh, maybe I kind of like them, and it's just building it the wrong way. Versus you have the solid foundation of your faith together spiritually, then you get emotional connections with them. You learn them, and then at the top is when you're like, okay, like this is secured in Christ, a firm foundation, and now we can get with it. You know what I mean?
And like, that's why that's like the whole concept of sex until. Marriage, right? Yeah,
that's what we were watching. Yeah. You like that?
Yeah,
Michael
that was good.
Todd. Laying with Fire by Michael Todd. Watch it. Sex is a good thing. It's something that God created within boundaries. Again, it's this title of the sermon was Laying with Fire because it's such a powerful thing. So it used when you build a fire in an area where everything around you can be burnt up, you can cause a whole forest fire. You can burn up everything around you. Versus you put it in a fire pit in an environment where it's safe to be burnt. It's not going to spread, and it can cause warmth, it can cook food, it can do all these good things. Versus the wildfire, it kills. Remember, that was like the analogy he made. So like,
see, like, I know you just said it's like a really powerful thing. Like, does God forgive you for like sins like that?
Yeah. Like, bro, I was getting some DMs in my live that, like, I never answer them because I don't think it's the time and place to answer them, but I can talk about it now. It's like, Alex, are you a virgin? Like, if you're a Christian, you're a virgin, right? I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I haven't, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't close to God like this my whole entire life. And that's like, the good thing about Christianity, and this is different from any other worldview religion, is grace. It's grace. God is so gracious, meaning you're not deserving of it at all, but he still chooses to love you. And regardless of whatever you've done, and that's what he showed in the form of his son that he gave, that suffered the punishment of all your sins, and that God no longer sees you, he sees Christ on the cross. And if you believe in that, he will no longer, you're wiped clean. You're a new person. That's what it says. You're a new person in Christ. You're literally a new creature, and God no longer sees you for your sins, but he sees you for what Jesus did on the cross. So that's why it had to happen. So no matter what you did, you can be forgiven.
I don't want to sound like stupid asking this, but did God punish Jesus in place of punishing us?
Yeah. He took the weight of everybody's sins, past, present, and future, on the cross.
Okay.
And he was the one who was least deserving of it. There's analogies of this in the Bible as well, like even the Old Testament. It's like you bring a lamb to slaughter. That's like how Jews would kind of like be forgiven for their sins. They would sacrifice. They'd be like a blood sacrifice.
Oh, well, like
so like of like white
something?
lambs of like straight up like pure looking like pure
okay.
animals. I don't know too much about like Jewish traditions, but it was like something like that. But anyways, Jesus was the only human who lived perfect life, no sin, without he went through every single temptation that you went through. Meaning he had all these sexual urges too, and he still stayed pure and went through all of these. So the creator of the universe came in the form of a man, right? Infinite being came in the form of a finite being, to deal with the things that we couldn't deal with. Lived a perfect life and was the one least deserving of the pain and punishment he went through. I looked into like the details of how bad the crucifixion was and how painful it would have been. It truly is one of the worst deaths a human can have in history. I mean, from the lacerations, it would whip him with this whip that had rocks on the end of it.
Can you like give me a brief description of that? Like he was, I know he was like nailed to the cross, but like was he like there and just left to die?
He was already halfway dead on when he first got on the cross. Like this again, you can look into this. Watch The Case for Christ. If you believe none of this is real, watch The Case for Christ. This is literally real historical events. They did this whip that had like rocks and like barbed stuff on it, and they would whip him and it would tear his flesh off like the bone. So like they were whipping him multiple times. So it was
while he was just hanging there on the cross.
This was before he went on the cross. He was laying on a beam. And then they put the crown of thorns into his head, so thorns dug into his skull, so he was bleeding from his head. And then he had to carry the cross up to Calvary, the hill where he was crucified. And then it was like he had to, every time you go to take a deep breath when you're like that, you have to lift up. So he's literally just like straight dying, slowly.
That is
on there.
Horrible just to think about.
Yeah. And what's crazy, and like, that's what I love Christianity so much, is like when I think about that, I think of how much God loves me, because the fact that someone was doing that and they're willing while they're doing that, I guarantee you Jesus was just thinking about all of us as he's taking the punishment. And that is like beautiful to me. That's someone that I don't deserve it, but he's doing it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even not even forcing me to even accept him. He's just, with the off chance that maybe I will accept him, he's doing it. That's what's crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like, yeah. So that, I don't know. I get it deep with me, cause that once you become a Christian, you see how just important that is and how big of a deal it is, and it becomes like such an emotional thing. Because like you develop that relationship with him, and it's almost like a father figure. It's like a father taking the punishment for you. It's like if I did something wrong, my dad had to get lacerated and crucified on a cross because of the things that I did. You know what I mean?
So that definitely like puts you in check to make sure
better.
that you don't do those
it's
bad
like,
things.
Yeah, like if you like, one of the things that helped me quit like watching porn was like every time I watched him, like this is the reason why Jesus had to go on the cross. Like every time I'm doing this sin.
Do you actually think about that? Like
I would be like,
something bad?
Like I'm putting him there, and he's getting lacerated and whipped, and he's getting nails in him. Every time I go to sin, he's doing that. He has to go on the cross again. That's how I think about it, because that's why he had to in the first place. That helps me learn to repent.
Okay, yeah. I'm actually like, I like learning about this stuff. Like,
yeah, I hope like the viewers do as well.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my following is Christian, so it's good always to bring them back into it. Again, like another question I get is, there's always ups and downs in the faith. I know there's probably at least one person watching this who is far away from their faith right now, and they want to come back to it, and you can. I mean,
have you ever
yeah,
like, lost faith?
I've always like had it in the back of my head, but I can tell when I'm walking away from it.
Okay.
And I always have something that happens where God kind of like, I forgot the verse exactly, but it's like around the meaning of like God always will finish what he started. He will never leave anything unfinished, meaning the one who created a good work in you will not like wait until it's finished. It's something like that, meaning like no matter how far away you stray, he's not finished with you yet. Always.
He's always gonna pull you back in.
Always.
Kind of.
And he always has something for you. So if anyone's struggling, just again, get back in the word, sermons, worship music. I have a worship playlist. Upper Room, Maverick City Music, fire. Top 2. Watch the videos live on YouTube so you can see them worshiping. You feel it. You can feel the spirit. But yeah.
We want to get into like the embarrassing kind of stuff. No.
Oh,
I think that's a good lead up for that.
Yeah. So we were gonna talk about we wanted to find a way. This is such like a wall. Like, oh man, I don't even know what I'm gonna title this video.
Yeah, this is like so awkward. At least for me, this is about to be so awkward to talk about.
Yeah. What is your most embarrassing? One of the questions we got was, what is your most embarrassing experience with a woman, with like a girl? again, yo, perfect Christians, don't get mad if this gets like, again, I've not been a faithful Christian my entire life. I've done dumb stuff. I have. I'll be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you should go first though, cause you're just funny.
Nah.
You're just funny.
It's not funny, bro. A lot of people go through the same thing.
No, yeah, I've been through it. I've been through the same thing. Like, mine's like the same thing as yours. It's just like the way you went about it was funny.
Well, mine has like a different side of things I can't really talk about on this, but so yeah, my most embarrassing experience with a girl, you already know it, they don't know it. I'm not sure I want them to know it, but they're gonna know now. I couldn't get like hard before, you know, the whole shebang was gonna go down, and that was probably the most embarrassed like that I felt in my entire life. Like, that's only happened once, but it's definitely something that I never want to happen again. But if it happens, it happens. You can't like beat yourself up about it or anything, because the more you think about it, the more that it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If you think about it too much, I shouldn't even be giving advice.
Like, you shouldn't be like stressing about it. Like, you should kind of like, it happened. Like, not gonna happen again. Just kind of forget about it.
Yeah. But anyways, like, again, like, leading, like, we talked a little bit about porn. Is that I was telling you is that our generation has the most amount of erectile dysfunction in like younger teens and young adults than any other time ever, and it's because of porn. Because, like, think about it, like, you stimulate your like endorphins and like certain dopamine and stuff when you're like doing sexual activities and stuff like that. When you're giving it to yourself and watching it every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, the way your body is, you need kind of more of it over time.
Yeah.
So
you basically like fry your dopamine receptors by that continual usage.
And you get so used to it, so it's like, okay, like, you're watching porn every day, then you like, say like you get married or you find like the girl of your dreams, and like you're like, then you starting to get like sexual with them, you're like reaching that intimacy in your relationship. It's like, and if you're not able to get hard, because like, yo, like, I'm already used to this, I've seen this like every single day since I was 15 years old, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've seen more than this. Creates unrealistic expectations. So like, you're watching like straight up, like, maybe the person you're with like isn't doing the things you watched. Yeah. And you're like,
and
yo,
like, if you try to do those things, you might freak out the other person. So definitely
porn is a bad thing, bro. If you're watching porn, just quit it, bro. I'm telling you.
Don't watch it and just
it's so bad. So bad for you. Just so bad for you, bro.
But what's your experience?
Mine, I feel like mine was like the same thing. I used to have to take like L-citrulline and stuff, like pre-workout,
really?
pump product,
Before?
Yeah. Again, this is before. I'm not perfect, boys. So don't, Christians in the comments, Alex, you shouldn't be talking about this stuff. Alex, stop this. You shouldn't be doing that. I'm vulnerable. I'm honest with you guys. I'm never gonna be fake. Okay. I'm not perfect, and I still struggle with things. But my most embarrassing.
It's gonna help a lot of people too.
I had the same issue, and I remember I would take. My anxiety has been so bad for such a large portion of my life. Is if I would think, that's when you said that, like, if I have like a strong mind to stomach connection, mind to everything. If my mind is off, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you get like stuck in your head sometimes? Like,
yeah, and I'll be like, I don't even.
That's a big thing. I know a lot.
I just want to remove myself from the situation.
Yeah. How did I don't know if we could keep this in, but like, how'd it go down? Like, after the situation, was it like just like hella awkward and like?
Yeah. It was just like I don't know. I was like cutting. I think I don't know. I blamed it on the test. My test being low.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, this diet. Had no.
That actually does like mess you up though when you're like cutting hardcore.
Yeah, your sex drive it gets awful. I can tell mine's bad right now, just because I'm kind of lean. I'm just not eating as much as I could be when I bulk. And I can always tell when I bulk up a bit. You'll see my face will get a little fatter. I hate that. Yeah. But like instantly my lust gets a lot harder to deal with. It's a lot easier to deal with around this time of year when I'm leaner. But like when I'm bulked up, it gets really difficult to deal with.
Just because like your sex drive is a lot.
It's high. It's higher. It's a lot higher. And so I'm like, oh, pray for me on that. Coming up really soon. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. I'm uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've been on a streak, and we're killing it right now on the YouTube. I want to hit 100K by the end of the year, I know we only have a month. It's gonna be hard to add 20K more subs, but it's possible, God willing. If not, we'll hit it January or something. So keep showing love, keep interacting with the videos. Yeah, it's gonna happen. You know, it's just how it is. We appreciate you guys. If you watched through any of this or all of this, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Code Alex on Raw Gear. I'm wearing the Raw Gear set right now, the reserve set. I'm all grayed out right now.
Like Growlfit though.
Growlfit, yeah. New drop coming this month. Huge supplements. Thank you guys, everybody who's ran up code Alex on the Black Friday sales. I'm doing a 200K giveaway on my Instagram here soon. As soon as I hit 200K, I'm gonna start it off. But yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and until next time.